Supertramp, Goodbye Stranger. Quinty's Classic Rock, Rock 107, 711 here on the Morning Buzz. A snow squall watch in effect for us for most of the listening area, but not the Picton area. This time around, Picton and area won't feel the brunt of that. Variable cloudiness today, windy, flurries up to 3 centimeters now. Some local heavier amounts possible. High of +1. Partly cloudy tonight, breezy, flurries around, lows around rather, -4. And then tomorrow, cloudy with flurries, snow starting later in the day and carrying on into the night with highs of 0. It is 0 right now. What an amazing story that's been unfolding this week right here in Belleville. Maybe you've heard about it. If you've been on social media and you live in the Belleville area, there's a good chance you know what I'm talking about right now. We welcome into the Rock studio Wayne and Jake Mattice. How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you, Doug?
This is a father-son team here. Now let's give the background story real quick here. Jake, you're a goaltender for, give the name of your team.
The Belleville Bulls, minor band AE.
All right. And, you know, as a parent, you know that gear for any professional sports isn't cheap. I got to imagine goaltending equipment, maybe there's a bigger price tag attached to that as well.
Oh yes, very. It's very expensive.
Now, we heard about this story. It kind of came around earlier this week on social media, Wayne, that your car was broken into. In the car is Jake's equipment. Now, Jake, you're a grade 8 student at Parkdale School. So in your car, Wayne, was a number of things, including the goaltending equipment. Can you tell us the story from there?
Well, silly me, I forgot to lock the car, of course. But and I've been beating myself up ever since. But when I come out Monday morning I was going to help a buddy do a job, and I seen that my car door was still kind of cracked open a bit, and I was like, oh. So I walked up and I looked in and I saw everything was just all over in the car. I was mad, and
It's a sick feeling.
yeah,
I know what it feels like. Yeah.
I was just so angry, and so I cleaned it up, got stuff moved. I texted my buddy, said I'm going to be a little bit late, and went to pick the kids up to take them to school. Dropped Jacob off, and as I was just going to pull away, I looked in my dash and I seen that the door ajar light was on. So I'm like, oh, Jake, you forgot to shut your door. Stopped, shut his door. It was still.
The light's still on?
Still on. I'm going, what the heck? I went, oh, the trunk. I went, oh no. Walked up to the trunk, opened it up, and the only thing sitting there was his pads, and I lost it.
Oh, man. Let's now. What would the price tag for the amount of gear that they hauled off? If you could ballpark it, what are we talking here?
What was taken? I'm saying ballpark around $3,000.
Oh my God!
Wow. So it's not something that you can just run down to the local sports store and replace just like that.
No.
So you shared this story with a friend, is that? And then on social media you were talking to a friend of yours, and then they took some initiative.
Yeah. Well, myself and Jacob's mom, Tanya, we both put a posting on what happened so that we can
Just put the word out.
Get the word out, get
Yeah.
people looking, because people will share it. One person knows another person, so on. My friend Jen, who she goes by a little bit Ames, she messaged me and said, "I'm doing a GoFund for you." And I said, "No, don't worry about that." She goes, "No, I'm gonna do it after work." And she
GoFundMe
did.
campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she did it, and things just
Blew up.
and I'm just been overwhelmed by it.
Now, since that, Wayne, you guys had a pretty interesting responses. Tens of thousands of people responded to this. So, Jake, I'll have you step towards the mic and kind of explain. Somebody pretty important and pretty well known in the hockey world stepped up to talk to you.
Steve Mason, he contacted my dad wondering what I needed for hockey equipment, and so he's stepping up to give me new goalie pads and a blocker and trapper.
Steve Mason, the goaltender from the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, I guess from that, Wayne, this must have been incredible to actually hear that it went that far.
Well, actually, Joe Belanger messaged me, and he told me this, and I'm just like, what? Steve Mason? And I'm just like, no way. Like, Steve Mason, Philadelphia Flyers?
The Steve Mason, yeah.
Yeah. And he says, yeah, he wants your contact information. And I was like, so I gave him my number, and about 30 minutes later, Steve texts me. Wayne, hey, how are you doing, buddy? And he said, I heard what happened to Jake, and he said, I want to help out. And I was like, wow, thanks, Steve. This
What
is
do you
amazing.
say?
What do I say? I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is Steve Mason. He's taking time out on the way to the arena to text me. So
There was
yeah.
something you said before we went on air that really I think is important to mention here because, we were talking about how things sometimes happen for a reason. We feel things happen for a reason. And the initial action of having your car broken into, nobody wants that to happen. And if you could go back in time, probably would be best if that hadn't happened. But you said something that's so true. Out of a bad thing that's happened, you've been able to see the best in people. And, a lot of times in this day and age, we don't expect, this is the reason we're so surprised and we get so humbled, I think, from stuff like this, is because you don't expect that anymore. You don't expect that neighborly kind from total strangers. It's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm still humbled by it. I'm still lost for words. I just don't. I'm still got people that I have not got back to. I've had people 3 hours away offering their equipment.
That's amazing.
It's just crazy.
Well, there's still some good people out there, and these are the kind of stories we like to hear. So, Jake, obviously, I would imagine you haven't got the new gear just yet, or where are we at with that?
Well, I went to Rebound Sports, and we will be getting some equipment for him as we just ordered. And so I am waiting for Steve Mason. I'm phoning him tonight to talk about what I want on the equipment and what colors yeah.
So cool.
Now, as a goalie, are you going to give him some advice on how to drop that goals against average and get the Flyers into the playoffs, or are you just going to try and get something signed?
Probably both.
There you go.
Nice. Well, what an awesome story. Wayne and Jake Mattice, something that certainly started out, a week that started out horribly has turned into certainly a week you'll never forget, hasn't it?
Never. Yeah.
Awesome. We thank you for making the time to join us this morning and sharing your story with us.
Thank you for having the both of us on.